Right. So the today's topic is, where is it? Okay. So some people, they say that giving a smaller amount of money weekly to children will help them become more capable as they grow older. Do you agree or disagree? Now, obviously, we are looking at this topic in the sense that, as we discussed, if the children are getting some amount on weekly basis, they will become capable of doing something. So which means we can talk about handling some situations, we can talk about understanding the value of money, we can talk about, that they can understand the value of saving, how important it is for them to save the money right from the very young age. Right. So these things can be written in this topic. Secondly, we can also say that they can understand the value of it, especially in terms of any kind of personal needs, especially in emergency situations. Then we can give some kind of emergency situation. For example, that this thing happened, so children, like they effectively used it, right, or in that situation. So we can give that kind of things. Another factor we can also say that when children would understand the value of money, it would also help them to strengthen the bond between their family members. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, on the other hand, we know the fact that children at a very young age, they are very unmatured, they are fun loving, right? They don't understand too much the life values and morals, so they are at a very tender age at that time, right? Now, they are not always, we can say that, physically or mentally, matured enough to understand all the aspects of spending money, right? Now you can also say that like they can become some kind of like overspending children who can simply go to the shops and buy themselves some gadgets, right? It can also result in disastrous situations, like they can come into some kind of crime, or even getting involved into some kind of drugs activity or things like that, right? So yes, therefore it is very important for like parents, right? It is very important for parents to closely monitor their activity so that they can spend the amount wisely. Okay. No, no, not this one we did. Children are the,
Children are the tender bonds
yes,
of the society, and they are required to be taught true value of life.
yes, very good, very good. Tender bound,
Tender bonds.
yes.
There
Physics.
is there is no speck of doubt. We लिख सकते हैं ना sir?
Yes, any linker you can write. Come on, let's start writing now.
Yes, sir.
So, what we can write? There is,
There is no speck of doubt. Good morning, sir.
good morning, good morning. Why? There is no speck of doubt
The are
that
children are the future of the nation. The future, sir. Children are the
the children are
future
future of
nation. Future of the nation,
the future of the nation,
and how they should be raised.
and how This should be raised.
Raised.
Right?
Raised.
Yes, its
Raised.
pronunciation is
Is
raised.
a okay, sir.
Is
Is
a
a mood issue.
very good. Okay.
सर
Then,
रेस्ट के बाद कॉमा नहीं आएगा
yeah,
मुझे लगा मैंने ही गलत डाला
it's not. Race is a mood issue.
okay.
Now next, how we can start with some people?
तो वो
हाँ ठीक है
Start that one.
टाइम मिलेगा
So therefore,
therefore some cohorts
therefore, some
some co
cohorts.
some
What did we do
some
yesterday?
sections
Therefore, a fair amount
fair amount of
of cohorts opine that right. So therefore, a fair amount of cohorts opine that offering a nominal sum of money to children by progenitors would develop certain independent skills required for children in the long run. Okay.
okay so
Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right. So there is no speck of doubt that children are the future of the nation, and how they should be raised is a moot issue. Therefore, a fair amount of cohorts opine that offering a nominal sum of money to children by progenitors would develop certain independent skills required for children in the long run. Right. Now, let's try the opinion. Now, we don't need to worry about do you agree or disagree. I told you, right? Whenever this topic comes, do you agree or disagree? Remember, you just have to think, what do you think?
Okay,
Right.
sir.
As we discussed
okay
in the
so
points, that there are some, pros also, there are some cons also. So let's write that. I personally agree that this phenomenon would make children more capable and skilled in money management as they uh, grow older. As they grow older, right? For various reasons, but would possess some dangers that cannot be ignored. Right? Is it clear? Right. So now in this topic, as we have written the introduction, now let's do the body paragraph one. Now we have discussed the points in this. The points are related to that children, first of all, how to write BP1, easy manner, right? We'll be writing in an easy manner. Always remember to write your body paragraph effectively. There is a one variety, and one variety is to create a list, right? When you are creating a list, obviously you have to write some kind of plural statement at first, right? Plural statement, to start that plural statement, you have to write some kind of linker first, right? So let's write. To begin with, there are multifarious advantages of inculcating money management among children right from their tender age, right? So to begin with, now these things can be written, I'm again telling you, right, in almost every essay you can write this thing. I'll just create do bit of big font. Right. So there are multifarious advantages of inculcating, inducing, instilling, any word you can use, money management in whom? Among children. When? Right from their tender age. Right? Tender age means when they're young. Right? This line is your plural line. Now, over here, what you're telling to the examiner that you're going to write points. Why? Because you have mentioned multifarious word. Multifarious means plural. So this means more than one. Now, obviously, you can start your listing. The most prominent one is the accomplishment of the knowledge about money management. Now this is your point. Okay, now this is your point. So the most prominent, it means the most important. You can also write first and foremost is, right, accomplishment of the knowledge about money management, sorry. Right, you can write that one as well. So the most prominent one is the accomplishment of the knowledge about money management. Right. So then we can also say there is not even an iota of doubt that childhood is the formative period of life. Formative period of life means that children, they are forming, right? So they are developing. It means formation ho rahi hai unki. Okay? So that is known as formative period. Okay? There is not even, it is a fact, right? It is a fact. So instead of writing it is a fact, I've just written there is not even an iota of doubt that childhood is the formative period of life. Therefore, jiske karan, okay, as a result, obviously, as you can see here, that the line sounds, there is not even an iota of doubt that after fact, obviously, you would give some kind of result. When you're writing any fact, after that, any result should come. So that's why, therefore, should children are taught such skills, what would happen? Certainly, that would strengthen their ability to confront with various skills in the long run. Okay, so therefore, should children are taught such skills, certainly that will strengthen their ability to confront with various skills in the long run. Confront means face, encounter, right? Now, another factor, what we discussed in the ideas, right, that they can be used in any personal needs, right, especially in case of emergency situations. Now, let's write that. So now, obviously, when you have to induce your second point, right, what would you do? Another, now since we are writing about advantages, so another merit of what? This, another merit of this, what? We are talking about act. Act is why we are writing act, because we're talking about doing something to children, and that is what? Inducing money management values to them. So another merit of this act is what? That this money, no comma or anything, okay, this money could be used for their personal needs, especially in emergency situations, right? Another merit of this act is that this money could be used for their personal needs, especially in emergency situations. Now, as you can read, we are talking about personal needs, especially in emergency situations. Now, this sounds very assumption. Now, we don't know. Obviously, if you're telling this to any person that it will be benefiting them in any emergency situations, then you can ask, then okay, then what kind of emergency situation? So, which means that you are bound to give some kind of an example, right? So, let's give an example to support our point. To cite an example, that's a beautiful expression. To cite an example, children can effectively manage incidences like what? Such as the unexpected cancellation of the public transport, right? And strikes, right? Due to strikes, let's say, cancellation of the public transport due to strikes, right? And so forth. Okay, to cite an example, children can effectively manage incidences such as the unexpected cancellation of the public transport due to strikes and so forth. Besides, the habit of saving, you don't need to write money with it, obviously, because the entire essay is about money, right? The habit of saving can be cultivated, third form with B, cultivated, and parents can keep them happy and satisfied, thereby strengthen the family bonds. Right. So let's read once again and understand. To begin with, there are multifarious advantages of inculcating money management among children right from their tender age. The most prominent one is the accomplishment of the knowledge about money management. So accomplishment is achieving the knowledge, right? So they are achieving the knowledge about the money management, right? Now there is not even an iota of doubt that childhood is the formative period of life. This is a very good line you can write in every child, like children related essay, when it comes to discussing about their growth, right? So you can remember this line. There is not even an art of doubt that childhood, right, is the formative period of life, which means that they are obviously forming themselves, right? So childhood is the formative period of life. Therefore, should children are taught, so instead of if, conditional sentence we're making, should children are taught such skills, right? What would happen? Certainly that would strengthen their ability to confront with various skills in the long run, right? Another merit of this act is that this money could be used for their personal needs, especially in emergency situations. Now, what kind of? To cite an example, children can effectively manage incidences such as the unexpected cancellation of the public transport due to strikes and so forth. Besides, the habit of saving can be cultivated, and parents can keep them happy and satisfied, thereby strengthen the family bonds. Yes. Therefore, thereby strengthening the family bonds. Unexpected cancellation of public transport, so they can catch any kind of cab or anything in order to reach their destination, like school or colleges, right? So if they have money saved, then they can spend it to get the fares of taxis and all. But if they don't have money, then how can I do? Okay. Right. Now, in this, okay, I hope this one is clear. Every line you write from top to bottom, right, it needs to depend on the previous line. So if we can read from bottom to up, then we can understand here the habit of saving money can be cultivated and parents can keep them happy and satisfied, thereby strengthening the family bonds, right? Now, this can only happen when obviously they know they understand the true value of saving money. They can face any kind of incidences in life. That is, like we have given example of public transport. If it happens to be like strikes, they can manage effectively, right, by catching some kind of taxis and all. They can reach home or to their destinations, and these are some kind of emergency situations, right? So their personal needs. So that is how we are just depending each and every line written on the previous line. There is a strong relation. Now let's go to body paragraph 2. In here, obviously, we need to write some kind of demerits. So what those demerits can be. Now to start the other paragraph, since we are going to write on the other hand, other side, so let's write on the other hand, linker. After every linker, we need to put some kind of punctuation marks, and that some kind of punctuation marks is only the comma, right? On the other hand, now it can be noticed that children, first of all, we will just continue with this line, but to make you understand in an easy manner. On the other hand, where there are some advantages of teaching them. No, where there are the topic is about giving them nominal amount. Where there are some advantages of giving them some pocket money, right? There are certain downsides as well, right? So this line we can start just to connect On the other hand, where there are some advantages of giving them some pocket money, right? Because this is the topic sentence. That is, the topic sentence is what? That we are giving them some kind of money. So giving them some pocket money, there are certain downsides as well. Now, it can be noticed that children are just fun loving in nature, who are not always physically and mentally matured enough to do what? To take informed decisions about what? About money. Right? So, on the other hand, it can be noticed that children are, right, just fun loving in nature. They are fun loving in nature, right? Who are not always physically and mentally matured enough to take informed decisions about money, like precise decisions, good decisions about money. To explain, or we can write to be precise. To be precise means to be specific, right? To be precise, these youngsters who are, let's make compound complex, these, to be precise, these youngsters who are tender minded could use this money for various purposes. Which one? Such as smoking, drug addiction, and for amazing latest trendy gadgets. Right? So to be precise, these youngsters who are tender-minded could use this money for purchasing for various purposes. Now purchasing, we're not writing purchasing because drug addiction, right? This is a noun. So various purposes such as smoking, drug addiction, and for amazing latest trendy gadgets. Right? Now let's give a result. The result would be even more disastrous, as it would surge, बढ़ाएगा, right? And it would surge the number of crimes in the society. It would just simply surge the number of crime in the society. ठीक है, इसका नतीजा जो है वो और भी ज्यादा विनाशकारक होगा, क्योंकि जो नंबर ऑफ क्राइम्स है सोसाइटी में, ठीक है, वो बढ़ेगा इस चीज से. Right, now let's give example for this. For instance, many evil-minded echelons could take it as a source of revenue by cheating and harming the vulnerable children for the money. Now let's understand what it says. On the other hand, it can be noticed, right, that children are just fun-loving in nature, who are not always physically and mentally matured enough to take good decisions about money. These youngsters who are, to explain this, these youngsters who are tender minded could use the money for various purposes. Which one? Such as smoking, drug addiction, and for amazing latest trend gadgets. The result would be even more disastrous, as it would surge the number of crimes in the society. For instance, many evil people, right, echelons people could take it as a source of revenue. They can charge students, they can charge the children, they can ask them to give them money by cheating and harming the vulnerable children for the money. Now, to conclude, I believe that enough weekly allowance by parents to children has some positive sides. The negative aspect of this practice, because this is a practice going on, right, that they are giving money, this practice is much not aspect of this practice is not okay side. So I believe that enough weekly allowance by parents to children has some positive sides. The negative aspect of this practice is not as serious as it sounds, or as people think of it. Right. So that would be all. Now here, I believe that enough weekly allowance. Enough weekly allowance. Instead of that, we can just simply write though. Let's make an although sentence. I believe that though weekly allowance by parents to children has positive sides, the negative aspect of this practice is not as serious as people think of it. With people, we never write plural. Okay, I hope it's clear.